Hi, I'm March from StrataGames, and today we're playing some more White Weenie. This is a deck that I've been really enjoying and wanting to practice a little bit, as it seems to be pretty good in the meta. This is the list that I just ran, and ran in a previous video on the channel, but I'm thinking we're going to change it up just a little bit here, because I've been seeing some lists that are running a full playset of this Chocomog, and while there are times where it's bad, it does just seem really, really good a lot of the time. So I kind of want to check how good that is. I think it usually replaces Guardian's Pledge as additional copies, which seems crazy because Pledge is so good. But, you know, if you have a lot more consistent ways to pump, it might not be that big of a deal. And I've been liking a bunch of Journey to Nowheres, but what else could we try in here? Or what numbers could we change? Tinkering with decks is sometimes more fun than actually playing. Just barely, though. Playing is still fun. Yeah, I like doing both. I like that sword that taps a creature, puts a counter. I don't remember the name. Yeah. Great Sword of Tyr. It's one that I've tried in several videos at this point, and every single time I play it, I don't end up drawing it. And so I haven't really gotten to play with it. And I've seen some lists running as many as 2. 2 seems like a lot, but because I would like to actually see it played, let's try 2 in the deck. Because, yeah, this one is pretty sweet. So it's 1 and a white to play, only a white mana to equip. Whenever a equipped creature attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on it, and tap up to 1 target creature defending player controls. So it can be really strong, and I think definitely worth trying. And we'll swap out a couple of the Journey to Nowheres for that, because it takes a similar place of getting rid of a blocker. I really like Remotion Rally still. We could cut that, but I don't think we need to. Play with 1 copy. In some games it wins basically alone. Yeah, I think 1, like if we were to play, if I was to settle on it being like a really good include, I would probably do 1. But again, I want to actually draw it. I want to see what it can do. So let's try out the 2. I'll keep 1 Journey in here. I do like Unicorn and Rally. I'm a fan of one-ofs. Not that Journey needs to be a one-of, but like the Unicorn and the Rally I always really like. So yeah, and I'm pretty satisfied with this sideboard so far. I've also been trying out a lot of lists for a long time. Ran 19 lands with 2 Eagles, so basically 21 lands. And I always felt like I flooded, so I've been trying 20, and that's felt a lot better to me. So I'm going to keep that up. It also just made it so I had a couple extra, well, I guess in this case, 1 extra flex slot, which is really nice. So, all right, yeah, let's take this for a league and see how we do. I like 19 lands and 1 Eagle. Yeah, that's where I'm at. I've really been enjoying it. Feels a lot smoother. There have been a lot, like honestly, with just 1 more Eagle in there, I feel like I flooded so often, and I don't feel like I've been flooding a lot in the last, I don't know, dozen matches I've played. Of course, it still happens sometimes. Of course, you have too few lands, but I've definitely liked the ratio a lot more. I tried using Overseer and Bugler, but I wasn't feeling either of them. Yeah, I'm a huge Bugler hater. Before Chocomog was in the format, before like, what was that, June? Bugler was the standard, was 4 of those, and I just always hated it. I felt like it whiffed too often. Even when you're seeing 4 cards, I still whiffed like, I don't know, 25, 30% of the time, which is just too much. And sometimes you just, you know, you don't want to draw a creature off of it. You would like to find a removal spell or a land or whatever, and it can't do that. So obviously that's the reason the Overseer could be better, but I think Overseer is just expensive. 3 mana is a lot, especially when you can get that as a Inspector just broken up in costs. Obviously you get more power, you get flying, but the ability to rebuy it with a Skyfisher for really cheap and then get an extra clue that you can play later, activate later, is really good. So I did play Martyr's Soul for a while, which is the Convoke creature, 3/2. And I did like that for a while. I'm kind of off it now, but that was trying to find a replacement for Bugler, which I never liked. Now I don't need to find a replacement for Bugler because the new hotness is Chocomog, and I think Chocomog's really, really good. So I don't think we need to play that at this point. All right, we have a really good curve. I mean, it's a little awkward because if I want to go like Skyfish or Choco and get the most damage out of it, then I'm going to have to pick up this clue. Survivor's Encampment probably means Dredge, which means a couple of things. It means Prismatic Strands could be good. It also means that I probably don't want to just go fast with like, because I could pick up the clue here, then go Choco, attack for a bunch, and then Battle Screech. But if I do that, and they just have a Gnaw to the Bone, then I've wasted a couple of card draws for like a little bit of damage that doesn't matter in the long run. So I've said this previously, but I really like to play White Weenie as more of a mid-range deck than an aggro deck. Sometimes you have the aggro hand, for sure, and I think that's sometimes right to play, but in general, I think I like to play it as a mid-range deck, and that means, when possible, pretty much at all times, you should be trying to get value rather than like speed. That depends on if you have a very specific hand or if you're against specific matchups, but in general, that's what I like. They Seder Wayfinder, and they find 2 more Wayfinders, Circle of the Land Druid, and Scrapbook Mutt. So they don't get a land, which is kind of nice for us. Now here, I could just play the Chocomog. We get in for an extra damage. If I don't hit a land, I don't Battle Screech, though. I think I'd rather just Inspector and crack a clue to try to hit that land drop. Choco doesn't really matter until after the Battle Screech anyway. It doesn't matter a lot. And Battle Screech is more reliable to be cast next turn if I crack a clue. So the Spider-Man card seems cool, but I don't know if there was enough ways to put counters on it. Yeah. If you're saying the white-blue hybrid one for counters, I definitely don't think it belongs in here, because you're right, there's not a lot of ways to give it counters or anything to modify it. But that one seems pretty good in... Again, they milled 4 and missed on lands. That's really funny. Yeah, the white-blue one seems really good in Mono-White Heroic, though. I've seen that be very powerful. Yeah, saying Spider-Man card narrows it down very little. Yeah, so there's also the Mono-White in Web card with that people were playing for a little while, and I just didn't really care for. It's not bad, but I don't think it's the best thing ever. With Tier, it could work, but that's about it. Skyward Spider, yeah. Yeah, Tier, but also we do have Idyllic Grange, which puts a counter on it. But yeah, that's about it. Okay, so I could play Choco again. I don't like that. Strands we don't really need. They do already have 9 creatures in their graveyard. But I think we're just playing Informant because I can pitch, I can pitch a Battle Screech, is what I meant to say. Or I could pitch a Strands. We have so many Battle Screeches, I'd probably just do that. And then make some birds, and then we can go for the Chocomog next turn. I think that's probably the best thing to do. Also, if I get a land here, then we can... Oh, well, Novice Inspector. That's actually really good. So I can pitch this, then I can Inspector. So this also lets us play attack with the Skyfisher this turn. So we don't waste 2 damage. It's not a lot of damage, but 2 damage, they go to 15. I also Battle Screech, and then next turn I Chocomog with 6 creatures. That's a lot of damage. Assuming we don't just die here. There is a total possibility, with so many creatures in their graveyard already, that they could like play another one of these guys, mill a Dread Return, reanimate the Giant for like 10 damage, and then Momentary Blink it. Usually when they're playing this, that means Momentary Blink. So I don't know. There's a Rumble. I saw another build of White Weenie with that white-blue card from Spider-Man, but it had a counter card that put a +++ counter on every creature you control and other cards for it. Yeah, definitely that one would be a little bit more of a build around, I think. They do mill the Dread Return, so we'll see what happens here. This guy's going to be pitching about 3 Battle Screeches in a minute. Yes, I agree. Assuming we survive here, they're going to be pitching about it all day long. All right, there's a Scrapwork Mutt. So we're probably not dead, because they could... Yeah, there's a Stinkweed Imp. 13 creatures. They could reanimate a Giant now, but that doesn't kill us, and we get to hold up Strands. Actually, wait, if they... Yeah, they do. They are going for it. 15 damage. I mean, the fact that they hit no lands was actually incredible. They hit so many creatures so quickly. Let's see, the block here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I don't have enough damage with the Choco, so we have to leave up the Strands. So let's just swing. Yeah, swing for 4. Can't cast anything else because holding up Strands is the important thing here. And I mean, if they have the right cards, I could see them like killing us. Like if they just have like 2 ways to flicker this guy maybe or something. Like, they flicker once, I go for a Strands, then I flicker again, or something like that. There's a Rumble, finds a land or a circle of land. Druid. Yeah, choose the Holdout Settlement. Play that. Pretty sure they already have... Yeah, they already have a second Giant in the grave. So if they attacked, there wouldn't really be a downside to triple blocking. Well, there wouldn't be a downside as far as putting their Giant back in their graveyard. But I probably don't want to triple block, because if they play it wrong or don't have the right creatures or something, there's a Town Greeter, then I can just win with the Choco. Yeah, so Town Greeter, if they just go for the Dread Return here, I can Prismatic Strands, and then they have 1 blocker, and I can Choco and just win, I believe. Town Greeter gets a Colony Garden, try to reanimate a Giant, and we'll Prismatic Strands to prevent damage from black sources. I would love to play more Battle Screeches, but I think we should just win here instead. We have Xaxes. Even if we didn't, we still hold up the Prismatic Strands, which is pretty good. Boom. Alright, that was kind of close, because they did hit us earlier than I was expecting for 15, so I didn't hold up the Prismatic Strands, but it ended up working out. What do we get? I mean, Holy Light's not bad, just because they have a lot of small creatures to get rid of. That's kind of it, though. Like, Martyr of Sands doesn't matter, life gain. Destroy Evil can blow up their Giant, but I don't really care about that. Journey to Nowhere can take... I guess Journey can take their, whatever it's called. The red guy that pings for a lot. Molten Gatekeeper. That's it. So that could be something. Greatsword. Yeah, Gatekeeper. There we go. Greatsword doesn't feel like the card here. Tapping a guy doesn't really matter. Like, I'd rather... Journey's not great here either, but the Gatekeeper can deal a lot of damage in the right circumstance, and it has Unearth, so Graveyard's not, killing it with the Thraben Charm isn't the best thing ever. We want to try out these Great Swords, but this is just not the match for it. Of course, we have 4 Thraben Charms in our main deck, so that's already putting us in a pretty good spot. Probably don't need this Rally. Unicorn could be good. Is Unicorn worse or better than Remosian Rally? I guess if they get a lot of life off the Gnaw to the Bone, it's pretty good. But that's not super likely. I think it's actually worse than the Rally. We'll keep the Veterans in because one of them gaining a little bit of life isn't a big deal. But if we get 2 or 3 and gain a ton of life, like, it can really matter if we're at 40 life versus 20 life against this deck. So there's a lot of good cards. Thraben Charm, Holy Light can be good, but it's a 1-lander. If we just miss on the land, we're just going to get screwed, I think. Same thing. Okay, so same situation, obviously, but we do have the Informant. So, like, even if I miss on a land, I can play Inspector. If we get our second land eventually, Informant pitches. It puts a Battle Screech into the graveyard. I think we'll keep this one and get rid of the Skyfisher and just hope we can go for, like, a fast Battle Screech into Chocomog. I like to play 2 copies of Spectacular Tactics on side. +1/+1 counter, plus hexproof, or destroy target creature with power 4 or greater. At least on my LGS, I don't know what I'll face. +1/+1 counter, plus hexproof, or destroy target creature with power 4 or greater. Yeah, I think it seems alright in the right matchup. Never didn't have it. I'm not sure it's necessary for this deck, in my opinion, just because we don't really have one creature that we really need to protect and give hexproof to. Obviously, there could be a situation where they cast down a Skyfisher or a Chocomog and we want to keep it alive. But in general, most creatures are kind of equivalent to the others, so it's not a big deal. Just target creature with power 4 or greater. But I could also see that Destroy Evil does toughness, which I think is better, killing a toughness 4 greater than a power 4 greater. But the killing enchantment isn't as relevant because of our Thraben Charms that already kill enchantments. So I could definitely see there being some utility there. That would be a cool Selesnya Evo Witness deck card. Yeah, that could be sweet. They play another Maverick and they mill a Gnaw to the Bone. They also didn't Dredge because they're on mono green. Excuse me. They're on mono green and they're trying to find lands. But then why would they get rid of this settlement? I don't know. Journey to Nowhere. Alright, well, we have that for later if we need it. We're going to go for an Informant, discarding the Battle Screech. I'm not expecting them to have any graveyard hate, maybe, but it seems unlikely. They could play Coffin Purge, actually. But ideally, the Battle Screech does not get exiled, and then next turn we can play Inspector, bring it back, and then Choco. Could be a pretty decently fast clock. We're still not getting online until, turn 4, but turn 4, we have 5 creatures attacking for 2+ power. It's pretty good. Cycle a Generous Out for a Ridge Line. They do go for the mill this time. Hit a Giant and a Dread Return. Survivor's Encampment. They go for a Rumble. Flaring Pain. Yeah, there's always... Flaring Pain's always also a card that they can get, so my Prismatics don't look very good now, but if I can Thraben Charm their graveyard, then it won't be a big deal. Oh, they picked the Forest. I don't know why I clicked to get rid of that. So their hand right now is Forest, Ridgeline, and Stinkweed Imp. Another Flaring Pain and a Dread Return. They can ping for 9 here. Yeah, that's what they're gonna do. I might just Journey this guy so that they can't flicker it. I'm pretty sure the encampments usually mean flicker. Definitely getting a land here. I know their hand right now, but flicker also could be from grave. We need a Thraben Charm for sure. They also could just start attacking. Yeah, I'm just gonna Journey this guy. Means no Battle Screech this turn, but I don't know. It also means they don't have any mana except for green, which is actually really good, because they have the Ridgeline tapped, they have a Forest. I guess they're going to just Gnaw to the Bone this turn. I don't know why they wouldn't play the Ridgeline, though. We're just going to play 2 Inspectors, so let's crack a clue here. Skyfisher. Oh, let's Skyfisher this Journey to Nowhere. That seems pretty cool. I use 2 Spectacular Tactics and 2 Destroy Evil at my LGS. The meta's wild. Okay, that seems cool. Knighted Mirror. Yeah, that's a card that I tried to make work. Well, I definitely had it in some brews when I first started playing Pauper, and haven't been able to get there. 3 mana for 2/2 with Adapt 1. Whenever 1 more counters are put on, it gains Double Strike. Seems really cool. Yeah, they Gnaw to the Bone. I don't know why they didn't play this Ridgeline. They could have red mana right now. Cycle of Generous End with a Greatsword. That's pretty cool. I just wish it was better costed. It's just kind of a tough cost for Pauper to be oh yeah, I'll play this 3 mana 2/2. But I do agree it's really cool. Alright, let's see their graveyard. What else do they have in here? Dread Return, Flaring Pain, another Gnaw to the Bone they're going to cast. Well, yeah, luckily we have a lot of damage we can deal, but it is going to take a couple of turns. Because, this is what, 14 damage? Not the worst. I think I play the Skyfisher. If I play it just for damage, I pick up Plains. I could wait and pick up the Choco next turn, and then that gives us an extra 3 damage and an extra turn of it. And then I can crack a clue here. I guess that's probably fine. Let's just pass. Also, drawing extra cards with the clues is pretty good, because if we find a Thraben Charm, we probably just win at this point. If we find a Prismatic, maybe we can survive. Yes, they will nod to the bone. 3 mana, 2/2, +1 to equip. The idea is nice, but too many mana. Yeah, 100% agree. It is unfortunately just not going to get there at the moment. They get a Scrapwork Mutt. That's pretty good. They have a Stinkweed Imp in hand. Mills mostly spells and lands. That's pretty good for us. They also have red mana, so they can unearth the Scrapwork Mutt. Have they played a forest? They did. So they're 1 mana short of killing us with this giant right now. Because otherwise they could like Scrapwork Mutt and then play the Stinkweed. So we really need... Oh, Prismatic doesn't do it here. We really need a Thraben Charm. Please give us a Thraben. A bunch of lands is not quite what I was wanting. They're at 37, so yeah. Skyfisher, replay the Choco. Not going to cut it. We have to hit like a Thraben Charm here to survive. That's an extra draw, I suppose. There's no way we could deal him lethal here, no matter what we draw, so let's just attack for a bunch. And Informant, hope our last card is a Thraben Charm. It is! Our last card was a Thraben Charm. Okay. I mean, we probably just use it now. They have a Stinkweed Imp in hand, double Flaring Pain. Is there any downside to letting them go to their turn? We could make them waste some mana. They could maybe get another Nod to the Bone in the grave. Don't really know how. I think we just let them go to their turn. Or if they cast something on the end step here, maybe that changes, like a Nod to the Bone from hand. Okay, well that I'm going to respond to. Obviously I could exile it if I let it resolve, but I'd rather they don't gain 22 life, because I'm pretty sure I can just kill them next turn. And their last card is a Stinkweed Imp. But the only way to play it is to tap this one, so they only have 1 blocker either way, depending on what they draw. Yep, they play it. Alright, and then if I play Skyfisher, replay the Choco, everything's +2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 creatures. They block this one. That's 6 unblocked creatures, which is 19 damage. That's not quite lethal. Okay, what else could I do? Just attack with everything. They block here, and they're taking 16. I mean, putting them to 1's pretty good, but it's not really necessary. I think I'd rather just draw off this Informant, because if I hit another Thraben Charm, I just win. Veteran's not bad. That gains us a little bit of life, I guess. And we'll attack with everything. They'll probably block here. Okay. They don't. They block the big guy here. Gain a life, because that's got Pseudo Death Touch. So then I get to pick up the Chocomog before it sacrifices next turn. Gain another life, and then it'll stay around longer. Which it really isn't a big deal, because I think we have him next turn. But they do Dredge. They had a Giant, Seder Wayfinder. They have an Nod to the Bone for 4 life. Don't think that's going to cut it. Alright. We take down that match. Dredge definitely a favored matchup for us because we have the 4th Ravens main deck, but still nice to get there.
You can now pick up my comprehensive guide to Esper Cryo Affinity, including 38 sideboard matchups, and I just put out a big update for my Black Sack guide, including a slightly different deck list. I began offering coaching sessions if you're interested in taking your Pauper game to the next level, and I'm accepting deck donations, so if you desperately want me to play a deck that I usually wouldn't play, something like Elves, then you can make me do that for a small fee. I've started posting a League video every single day, not to mention streaming at least a couple times a week on Twitch, but I'm not going to be able to keep that up forever unless I can get a little bit more help from the community. Any of the ways I've just mentioned are great ways to help me out, or you can even subscribe and support me on a monthly basis.
Gotta mulligan that. 1 lander. It's not even amazing if we do get the lands, plus we're on the play. We got a mulligan. Alright, 2 lands finally. We're going to keep the aggressive cards because we're on the play. Get rid of the Strands. I mean, the Choco's aggressive, but honestly, the Skyfisher's pretty good with Great Sword. I could get rid of the Great Sword, but I think I want to keep it. Choco doesn't look amazing with his hand. It's good in general, but I think we're just doing this. I don't know. Definitely a lot better of a 6-card hand here, keeping that Choco. It is absolutely a law, by the way, that if I play against if I play White Weenie, then I must play against Elves. I don't know if there's been a league where I have not done that in the past 600 years. So we got there last time. We'll see if we can get there this time. We're just going to Skyfisher back the Inspector. Elves so hot right now. Yeah, I'm a little surprised that White Weenie's doing as well as it is because Elves is generally a pretty bad matchup for it, but everything else is really good. Like, it's good against Jund, it's good against Affinity, it's good against Terror, it's good against Fairies. Elves is just kind of the outlier, so it certainly is pretty good right now, which makes me want to play more Jund and Black Sack and things that can wipe it a little better. I mean, Black Sack still has some difficulty, but the more removal I've added to Black Sack, the easier it is. Alright, I can play a Great Sword and start growing the Skyfisher. That does not seem like it's going to be fast enough. Currently, my alternative, though, is like play a Veteran, crack a Clue. maybe I can get some removal. That does not seem very good either. I kind of think my best play is the Greatsword and just start snowballing. But if they hit, I mean, if they get just about anything, it's not great. Oh, not to mention they could have a Masked Vandal, which would be, you know, could get rid of this. But theoretically, like, they usually won't have that many reachers, so I can get through that. If they have a Avenging Hunter, it's going to be hard for them to play it now. And if they don't have, like, a life gainer, this can just deal a lot of consistent damage, but I don't know. There's Priest into Lead the Stampede. There's Quirion, Priest, Nyxborn. Well, we kind of need a removal spell for this Priest so they don't do something big next turn, but then they're going to have another Priest. We're going to crack a clue. Yep. I mean, I could be one card deeper here if I didn't equip the Greatsword last turn, but like, unless that card was exactly like Thraben Charm or Journey, it was probably not going to matter. That draw was kind of plain. I agree. Our draw was not exceptional. So here they're going to have roughly 15 mana, unless they have another Quirion, in which case it'll be more, to play the Hydra, which can probably just one-shot me with this Vanguard, I would assume. 14. Hey, 15 mana, which would be plus 13, which is 19. Block here. I'm technically alive at 1, but I don't think there's anything I can draw that deals them 8 extra damage. So, and if I'm at 1, even like a removal spell for this guy is not going to keep us alive. Oh, sure, they tapped 2 of those. Oh, they could have tapped 2 more with the Birch Lore and made it actually lethal, because here it's still 1 short. But it doesn't really matter. This guy can also untap to block this. So we're going to be dead. We do get our Destroy Evil, Journey, Standard Bearers, and Holy Lights. Taking out... It's another matchup. I mean, this might be why Greatsword's not great, is because maybe most matchups are ones where you don't want it. I guess, where do you want a Greatsword? I mean, it's good in the mirror. It's good against Gruul, especially. That's probably its best matchup. Decent against Jund. They said they missed the other mana. Yeah, so what are we cutting here? Strands is always like, it's decent. I guess Informants is what I've been cutting. And Veterans. Yeah, Informants probably better. Veteran, life gain doesn't matter. Yeah, there we go. Against Elves, it's only good against Ent and Hydras, but Hydra you can use Thraben Charm, so not worth it in this match. Yeah, exactly. I want to find some matches where it's good and would like to play those, but yeah, it just doesn't do much. And it doesn't even do, it's not even like 100% great against Hydras and Ents, because you tap them, and then if they have a Quirion Ranger, they can untap them right away and still block. So it just doesn't do what we need it to. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking that the reason it might not be the best in general is because, I mean, that's why I like Journey to Nowhere, to like clear the couple Chrysalises or whatever is blocking us. But if they don't have that, then, or if you don't have that, then you can also just build up your forces to go wide enough that you don't necessarily need one creature growing and like tapping a guy. But it's definitely not the worst thing ever, and we're trying to see if it's any good. We'll see if we can actually play it in any matches. This hand has 1 Thraben Charm and then nothing else. Nothing else until way too late. Thraben Charm kills 1 creature. It's best against decks with few creatures and in the mirror. Yeah, I don't think this is keepable. This one's pretty rough too. It at least has lands. Informant finds a new card. We're already down to 6, so I don't feel like I can just ship a reasonable hand, but we're just going to lose to most anything. I'm going to mulligan again. I mean, believe it or not, this might be our best hand, just because Holy Light can put in so much work. I don't know. This is a tough matchup, like I said. You really need to shuffle mulligan, that's the word, for your sideboard pieces. I played a video a couple weeks ago on the channel that I think I mulliganed like 4, but I ended up with like a Holy Light and a Standard Bearer, and that just like crushed them. And I ended up winning because I had those. Whereas I mulligan a bunch of mediocre hands, so like I'm usually on the train of just try to find one of your pieces, and if you don't, you know, maybe you lose. But if this Holy Light doesn't do enough work, we're definitely going to lose. If they just start playing like Timberwatch Elves and a bunch of other 1/2s, it's going to be pretty tough. But if they play, you know, Llanowar Elves, Quirion Ranger into a Priest of Titania, and then I can Holy Light it all away, that's going to be really good. I own 5 Snuff Outs, but they are 3 different prints, so I have to order more to have a playset of matching prints. And also 8th Methyl Note, so I can run 2 decks. Who said Pauper is cheap? I mean, I understand. I certainly like to have all of the same printing. But especially with those expensive cards, that's exactly why I don't, is that sometimes, like, I think I have, like, 5, maybe 6 or 7 Snuff Outs, and many of them are various different printings. Okay, they did 2 of the 3 things that I said. Can they play one more creature? Come on, do a land or elves. They also could have brought in like negates or something, which would be really annoying, but with them attacking, looks like maybe not. How much would 2 decks cost in any other format? Yeah. Yeah, you have to order 3 more snuff outs, which is going to cost you at most $30 to complete your deck versus, you know, Modern, where any 3 cards are going to cost you like $100 at least. Ooh, more planes. That's what I was hoping for. Standard Bearer is really good. I'm just going to Holy Light here because they're on 1 land. But like Standard Bearer could get there. There's certainly no reason I would wait to do that, even if it's an instant. Sometimes White Weenie is like, you want lands? 2 is the best that I can give to you. And sometimes it's like, okay, lands. Okay, take on 5 on your starting hand and I'll give you 5 more in a row. Yup. It certainly is. I mean, the spells I've been getting are really, really key, really good, but would definitely love... Like, the Standard Bear is really good, but, like, if I could top deck a Battle Screech here, boom, then we have a Clock, and if they don't hit, like, a Forest here, then we could definitely do really well there. But, yeah, not a question I want to think about in this economy. I'm fine running mismatch printings, but as the season is nearing the end, I want to retire the deck with matching printings. Yeah, fair enough. I understand. Alright, they do have the second land, but luckily they have to cycle a Generous End for it. And then there's an Elves. I think Battle Screech is probably our best draw. Plains definitely our worst draw. I mean, that 3-for-1 Holy Light was really good. The Standard Bearer is probably going to be pretty good, but we're obviously going to lose if we don't draw anything other than Plains. We mulliganed down to... Yeah, we had 5 lands in our opener. We put 2 of them on the bottom, so 3, and we've drawn 3 more in a Standard Bearer. That is pretty unfortunate. Against Affinity, it's always, I'll give you 2 lands and Dust to Dust in the starting hand, but never the 3rd land. I saw this at the finals of a big tournament here in Brazil. Yep, it's either that or all lands and you never see your Dust to Dust. I do agree. It's tough. I mean, and that's why some lists run 21 lands, but I felt like with 21 lands, I still sometimes got mana screwed, and I would get flooded so much more often, whereas now I get flooded a lot less often. Obviously, it still happens. A lot less often. Another Holy Light would be really good here, actually. Okay, that's not bad. Yeah, now it happens a lot less often, and I usually... sometimes I do get mana screwed, for sure, but like I try to keep hands that are not going to be. I could attack the Standard Bearer. It's not a terrible trade for a Vanguard, but honestly, depending on what's in their hand, Standard Bearer could be doing incredible work. They could be holding back a Hydra, Quirion, Timberwatch Elf, and I don't think I need to do that. But Skyfisher's not bad. It's a little more power attacking, nice attacker if they get like an Avenging Hunter, and it just lets us draw a new card from the Inspector. So definitely one of our better draws there. You played X lands. You play X lands, you always get flooded. You play X-1 lands, you always get screwed. Exactly. Winding Way. Okay. Winding Way hit a Winding Way, a Rift Sower, Llanowar Elves, and a Hydra. Hydra's still good because they can still just cast it, but it's not as good because they can't bestow it. Rift Sower is fine. Just an expensive mana dork. I don't mind that. They suspend it. Crack a Clue. Journey's not bad. I'm not sure I need it on this Vanguard. Might as well play the Inspector first, see what we draw. Of course. Sorry, I should have known what we were going to draw. Do I want to get rid of this Vanguard? Because then I might as well play it now and attack with the Inspector. I don't think so, because they're probably about to play this Hydra as like a 4/5, and I'd probably rather get rid of that. The guy after sideboard kept Game 2 and Game 3, 2 lands and Dust to Dust, and found the 3rd land too late in the game. Yep, I think 2 lands, Dust to Dust, depending on what else is in the hand, obviously, but like 2 lands is always pretty reasonable. Certainly if you're against Affinity, a Dust to Dust is great to have in your opener, but no guarantee, unfortunately. We don't have that fast of a clock at the moment anyway, but Well-Wisher could be a problem. Lead the Stampede. It's a Generous End to another Well-Wisher, so even if I take the Well-Wisher, they're going to get another one. Unicorn's pretty good, because it gives us more damage and vigilance. So I could Journey, Vanguard, Unicorn, attack for 9. They go to 5, but then they go up to like 6 with the Well-Wisher. Like, I feel like saving the Journey now for like a Generous End doesn't matter as much because they're gaining more life, so it almost feels like I just need to make sure every creature can attack. Like, I could just attack with the Skyfisher and take the Well-Wisher, but then they're at 11. That's not doing any sort of damage. I think we just go for the Vanguard here. Play Unicorn and swing. They go to 5. I mean, if I'm lucky, I get like a Choco or like... Yeah, Choco would be great because I can play it and use the Unicorn. We pump our whole team by 2. I guess even a Plains isn't terrible because I get to pump by 2 anyway with the Unicorn. So now I'm going to draw like a useless 2-drop or something. Yep, they're at 5. Oh, right, they get this Rift Sower as well. That's pretty good because that's an extra mana and an extra life from the Well-Wisher. I guess we're looking for another Holy Light. That'll wipe the Well-Wishers, plus just most of the dorks, so they don't gain any life off of them anymore. I think that's the wrong link. It should be... well, I did update it, but apparently it is not working. That's weird. The Stream Elements overlay should be roughly the right deck. We did make some changes. So, yeah, hopefully that'll be the right one. Alright, they played a Well-Wisher, Jesper, Llanowar Elves. Thraben Charm is decent. So I can pump our team, attack. We're attacking for 11, so it's not lethal even if they... I guess, they already tapped the Well-Wisher. Okay. Well, let's pump the team and attack, and then we'll see what we want to Thraben Charm based on what they block. If I attack with a Standard Bearer, they could double block, and then I might be forced to Thraben Charm one of these guys, as opposed to a Well-Wisher. That's probably bad. I do want to attack with everything, but I think the Thraben Charm should go to a Well-Wisher, an Ixborn Hydra, or a Genersent. If it goes to like a Rift Sower, that seems really rough. It looks like they're going to block this Inspector with the Sentinel, which just chumps, but they could chump the Skyfisher, so either they're just doing that wrong or they have a trick of some kind. I find elves so hard to beat. On FNM recently, one elf player won against mono red burn through 3 sweepers. Yeah, obviously winning through 3 sweepers is not likely. It's not super common, but it is a very resilient deck, and it's tough to deal with for sure. They triple block the Unicorn. That's not a terrible idea, because the Unicorn's really good here. That might mean I need to Thraben Charm down this Sentinel, because I need to keep the Unicorn, I think. It kills 3 of their elves, so their Well-Wishers are not as good. Plus, it just reduces their mana. They're at like 5. I think that's worth it. I mean, this Unicorn is too good, I think. They might have something. Looks like not, though. Alright, they go to 7. We eat 2 of their guys. Not terrible. I wonder if playing 3 sweepers was wrong and slowed down the burn deck too much. Just guessing, I have no idea. It really depends. I mean, if it's like an End the Festivities, like, probably not going to slow you down too much and still a really good sweeper. But if they're bringing in like breath weapons or something, obviously that'd be rough. There's a priest. Come on, we just need a Holy Light. Holy Light should just like win us the game. I know we already had one, and I know there's only one left in the deck. But what about second Holy Light? You ever think about that? Okay, Thraben Charm's not bad. We are drawing decently. This is 11 again, so there's no reason... So I probably need to save this for the priest, because that's way too much mana. If I attack with the Unicorn again, they could triple block, but I get to eat a Well-Wisher. I'm kind of okay with that, I think. Attack the Standard Bearer, they can double block here, and then I have to waste it. Yeah, I think we'll just do this. They'll probably just block with the Rift Sower. Take 7. Yup. Activate Well-Wisher now, so... I probably want to kill the priest because it's 5. It's too much mana. It gives him a Genersent or the Hydra, which I'm going to have to spend this charm on anyway. So I might as well do it in response here so they gain 1 less life. Because now they're at 5 mana. I mean, they've been able to play a Genersent and they just have chosen not to, but there's a land. Yeah, they do Ent this time, it looks like. Well-Wisher for 4. Like we don't have Guardian's Pledge because we took this out, but like Choco, come on. I mean, that is double. Actually, wait, that's double Unicorn. They're at a virtual 17 though. There's no way I can kill them here, even if they only block the Skyfisher. That's still 12 life, and more than likely they'll play or not. They'll block the Unicorn or the Bearer, and that's even worse. But if I don't attack, they just start getting more life. Gosh. I think we're at the point where we just have to pass, though. Genersent. I mean, I spent all my Thraben Charms. I don't think it was wrong to do that. Well, maybe the first one, saving the Unicorn, wasn't great. Yeah, let's just pass. Like, I can't afford to lose the Bearer or the Unicorn. At that point, I'm just, like, throwing away Skyfisher to deal him 6, which they offset anyway. So now we pretty much need... Yeah, I mean, they're stable now. Lead the Stampede. Like, a Holy Light would win us the game, probably, but that's, like, we need that one of. Timberwatch, Priest, Quirion. That's a lot of stuff. Sentinel, Quirion Ranger. That's it. Interesting. Didn't play the Priest or anything. Prismatic Strands. I mean, I guess I can... I mean, that would have been a better draw last turn, because I could have attacked, hit for a decent amount. No, it doesn't matter. We're just going to pass now. We went from, like, oh, we're kind of close to killing them, to really our only way to win now is a really late drawn-out game. Like, you know, it probably starts with a Holy Light, wiping away a bunch of their guys. But if they want a Genersent, 1, 2... Oh, I don't have enough damage? Come on. I only have 6 here, and this is only on my turn that I can activate. Because I was absolutely going to throw everything in front and then just Prismatic Strands. But not if I can't actually kill it. They're doing this because they can untap it as well, if they want. Timberwatch. Alright, well, Timberwatch doesn't do anything because the Standard Bearer... Not yet, anyway. And another Timberwatch. Well Wisher gains a lot. There it is, way too late. I could play it. They untap this. It just does not matter. Alright, let's pass. Weenie's Ho, indeed. Playing my favorite matchup with Weenies. The one that I always have to play, which is Elves. 14 mana, they can make a big Hydra. They just can't bestow it, unless they want to bestow it here, which would be A-okay with me. Maybe I should have just played the Choco, because then I could block the Generosent when they attack here. But I probably want to save that for when they attack with the Hydra, which is going to be lethal. Alright, we'll play one of these. Even if they, like, my guys were unblockable now, I don't have enough damage to kill them. So let's just pass. They gain a bunch of life. Lead the Stampede. Sentinel and a Vanguard. Where's the Holy Light when you need it? Yeah, I mean, I guess I can't complain too much, because one of them is in the graveyard because we got it on turn 0. And the other one is somewhere in the deck. But we did start with, we were on a mulligan of 5. It was a 5-lander, Holy Light, and an Inspector, and we bottomed 2 planes. And then we drew like 4 more planes right in a row. And the Standard Bearer, which was good. But yeah, it's not looking good. Like, Prismatic can hold them off for like 2 turns. I've already used 2 Thraben Charms, but if I find another, I can blow up the Hydra. If they attack with the Generosent, I can block it and eat it this time. We don't have anywhere near enough damage to do that to the Hydra, so we will just go for the Ent. Prevent all damage from green sources. They're gonna Well-Wisher, sure. Another Strands. I mean, we're alive for a while. I guess I was saying before they could untap these guys to block, but they actually can't because they, you know, I have that Standard Bearer. So I guess I just do this and attack with a bunch of guys. I mean, they're at so much life it probably won't matter, but I have a lot of guys, so it'll put a chunk out of their life total, like 20-ish. Then we still have a Strands we can flash back. Attacking definitely seems right. Yeah, I think so. I mean, like, if we have any chance of winning this game, we do have to deal them enough damage. And so any damage we deal matters. I think the only way we win, though, is getting Holy Light pretty soon, because that's going to wipe away 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of their creatures. Not as many as you'd hope, but a lot of the important ones, including the Well-Wishers. And then they're just left with like Timberwatch Elves that don't do anything, a couple Mana Dorks. They do have a Vanguard and a Hydra, but we have Strands for these guys for a little while. Hydra's a 13, 14, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I don't have enough damage to kill it, unfortunately. And I'm not going to waste all my creatures, so we are going to flash this back. I mean, theoretically, like, they're at 8 minutes. We're probably not going to be able to time them out, but with enough Prismatic Strands and draw spells, like, we could. And I've seen that happen before. Idyllic Grange, sure. Not a great draw. Pump up the Skyfisher. Pump the team. They're going to Well-Wisher a couple times. Bodyguard also nullifies Timberwatches. Yes. So let me get this attack going and then... Yeah, so while an opponent is choosing targets as part of casting a spell they control or activating an ability they control, that player must choose at least 1 Flag Bearer on the battlefield. Flag Bearer being a creature type that the Standard Bearer has. So basically every time they cast a spell, activate an ability with a target, it must target this guy, or any other flag bearer. Now, there are a couple other flag bearers in the format, most notably, any Changeling. Changeling has every creature type, so they do play, usually, Masked Vandals in the Elves deck. So Masked Vandal could be the target of their abilities. But this is trying to give target creature +X/+X, so it must target the Standard Bearer. I still don't have enough damage for this. Actually, wait, 9... 10, 11, 12, 13. Yep, I'm 1 short. And I'm about to start losing it because these guys are going to die. That's really unfortunate. So yeah, so those have to target it. The Quirion Rangers to untap things have to target it. And the Bestow from the Hydra has to target it. So generally a very good sideboard card in this matchup. Not necessarily game-ending, as we can see here, but still pretty good. Well, Rafine's Informant's decent, but... unfortunately, we're going to have to pitch whatever we draw. Could be worth it to save it, because if I draw the Holy Light here and have to discard it, that's really unfortunate. We have a Strands in our grave. 1, 2, 3. I'm not going to have lethal regardless. Sure. Let's just attack. And, yeah, obviously we're surviving with the Prismatic Strands, but other than Strands, this is the only thing keeping us alive, because the moment that this is dead and the Strands is gone, they can pump a bunch of things by +15. But also they could do that on blocks, right? So if the Standard Bearer wasn't around, they could block everything, pump them all 15, eat all our guys, or force the Strands. It's just bad stuff. But unless we get another Strands, we're tapping out of Fogs. We have 1 left in the deck. But we also have just some artifact or enchantment removal, so we can definitely blow this up in with 2 of our Thraben Charms that are left, or our Destroy Evil, which would buy us more time. They also still can activate the Quarian, it just has to target the Standard Bearer, so they are doing that to bounce the Gingerbread Cabin and gain a little more life, which makes sense. There's an Inspector. Not terrible. It's a creature that draws us a card, so we'll play that first. Battle Screech is pretty good. Of course, we just lost all of our Prismatic Strands, so now I'm going to have to block and, like, lose creatures to this Hydra. But that's how it goes, I suppose. I think a lot of White Weenie players would have conceded a long time ago, and that might have been right. It certainly would save us a little more time. This might not be the most riveting gameplay, but I have a condition where if I have any reasonable way to win a game, I must try for it. That's fair. It is about time they probably just attack with everything. And that actually is probably going to make me lose, because this is 13. So I have to block 4 of it. That's 9 that I'm taking. So that, and then I have to block everything else. And I can't block everything else. So we're dead. This is thrilling, for sure. Well, we're dead. Congrats. Because I couldn't block everything else. And next turn we were going to draw a Plains, and then from the Informant we were going to draw a Battle Screech. Oh, nice. Definitely a bit unfortunate, but that's how it goes. Decent hand. Don't have to mulligan to 5, like our opponent. I guess you can't see that, but rest assured, they mulligan to 5. And in the dark, I always like to lead with the Veteran, because you never know if you're going to be against a burn deck, in which case the life gain, every point of life can matter. And the chances you need the extra toughness that early are pretty low. All right, well, I appreciate you hanging out. See you later. Thriving Isle. I don't know what that means. Probably just play both Inspectors in case we get a land and I can play the Choco and get an extra couple damage in. Thriving, that's weird. Yeah, I think the only ones that I've seen, like obviously it's strictly inferior to a gate, but if you don't need the gate, then it doesn't really matter. But I've seen some like Tortured Existence brews use those. Oh, fair enough. I guess that's another one is Tron decks. Tron maybe, yep, you nailed it. Tron indeed. Yeah, I'm just not super used to this because I feel like it's gone out of style a little bit, but yeah, probably Flickertron, I would suppose. Prohibit, yeah, that's pretty good. Impulse, try to look for a land. It seems, maybe something else. If we get a land, we get to Choco, which is pretty good. That would be ideal here. If not, one Inspector doesn't really add much. I think I just crack a Clue to try to hit the land. If we do, we still get to play the Inspector. If we don't, we're still closer to the next land. Another Impulse. There's a Power Plant, so Tron probably coming online next turn. Oh, never mind. They're crop rotationing. It's online right now. There's a Refractor. Great Sword of Tear. Hey, another match where it's going to be the best thing ever. I mean, we get to hit for 8 here, unless they have like a 1-mana way to counter this. That's pretty good, but of course, they could just have a million fogs in the next few turns. They could have like a big Weather Storm. We've done a decent job of pressuring them, but I wouldn't be surprised if they could come back from this right here. Mainboard Annul? Yeah, exactly. It's so good when it hits 1 every 10 matches. Crack a map for a tower. Yeah, and they're just going to pass with a fog or something. I mean, it could be a breath weapon, but I can get around that a little bit by trying to give a counter here. Yeah, so it's probably just a fog, which means I probably just want to crack clues to try to hit like a Thraben Charm to exile the graveyard, assuming it's like a Moment's Peace. They could also just have Mystical Teachings for the Moment's Peace. Yeah, that's what it is. We'll crack a clue. We haven't played a land this turn. I guess we'll crack another clue. Oh, I did play a land. I played the Grange. It doesn't matter. That's fine. Yeah, I mean, Mystical Teachings, Moment's Peace, that's a whole lot of fogs. Unless we can find a Thraben Charm. Most Flickertron lists don't run more than 1 piece anymore. Could be wrong. Oh, okay. Like main board, I assume. I assume they usually run more on the sideboard. I think... I mean, I'm no Tron aficionado, but I thought that most of them ran like 2. I didn't think it was a playset or anything, but because 2 you can grab 2 Moment's Pieces off of the 1 Teachings, but I don't know. Yeah, if they're just playing 1, that's fair. That would be better for us, for sure. Muldrifter, Prismatic Strands isn't going to do anything, except for maybe against a Breath Weapon, but I'm not going to hold that up for that. I could like Great Sword, which kind of like it gets a counter going. It doesn't really matter to tap their guy because we're lethal either way. Probably just draw for Skyfisher. I could journey this Muldrifter. It's not a terrible idea. I mean, it is if they play. I think they usually play like a 1 of Heritage Reclamation. So being able to pull that out to get another trigger from the Drifter is pretty good. But getting rid of it so it can't be flickered also seems decent. I don't know. Block the Veteran. Take 10? Yeah. Moment's Peace. So, let's see. I could draw a card with an Inspector, or I could just journey the Muldrifter. Those are really my only decent options. I could like Skyfisher, pick up a land, Novice Inspector, but it doesn't really matter to put more guys on the field. Yeah, I'm just going to play this guy. Hold up. Mana For a clue, threaten a Thraben Charm, hold up Strands. It's kind of the best we have, I think. Expedition map. Journey Refractor always seems good. Journey only hits creatures, unfortunately. If Journey hit artifacts, I would definitely do that. Veteran and Sword. Big dummy. No, it's fine. There's a lot of cards in the game. But yeah, if I had a way to take away the Refractor, I certainly would have. Putting them down to just one colored mana seems great. But I'm only going to have that from the sideboard, which I will bring in some Artifact Hate then. Well, I'll crack a clue. If they want to like flicker on the or flicker here, they could gain some more cards. They only have 3 cards in hand, but they have a Teaching, so they also just have whatever they want for 6 mana, which they can do with that. Okay. So, assuming they do only have 1 Moment's Peace, I'm trying to think what they could have here. They could get a Breath Weapon, so they could like block here, Breath Weapon the rest, but I could Strands that, and then that could kill them. But if they have a counterspell, I need an untapped creature. I played a Plains. I maybe should have just Skyfishered this Grange first if I want to like flash it back in case it gets countered. Kind of think that might be my best bet because I want to attack with everything. I guess I could have left back one of these guys, but they could also just have like not a moment's piece, Weather the Storm. I don't know. We'll see what happens here. They do block the Inspector, flashback the Teachings, and they get a Breath Weapon. Strands to prevent that. I mean, I guess they have 2 mana. They could still Weather the Storm here and not die. All right. Okay, that was sweet. We made some weird plays, but it made it so that I could hold the Strands. It was nice. Appreciate you mentioning that there might only be 1 Moment's Peace, because it looked like that was the case, and that helped quite a bit, actually. So, I will say Fog, Flickertron doesn't usually run that many artifacts. They run, like, really weird numbers of things, like 3 Refractors, anything to help. Yeah, I appreciate it. Like 3 Refractors, a couple Prophetic Prisms, it feels like, but they're still important enough, like... Revoke seems good. I don't know if Dust to Dust is worth it, though. Standard Bearer doesn't do much, because Ghostly Flicker has to target their creatures anyway, or their stuff. Life Gain doesn't matter. Destroy Evil hits. I don't really play enchantments. Revoke is definitely good. Dust is less good. Yeah, that was my thought. Like, certainly in Ultratron or whatever, I'm bringing in Dust to Dust, but I don't usually see them with more than 1 artifact for Fogtron. Journey seems like okay. Wall and that's it. I wouldn't board that much. Just keep an aggro hit. Oh, yeah, it only hits Wall. You're right. Well, I was thinking Mystic, but still, that's still only a couple targets. Had to step away. Did he lose the Elves match with 100 life? I did, unfortunately. I've definitely won that type of match before, where they have 100 life, where you just get a Holy Light and kill everything, but that one I did not win. They bring in the Rhino for sure. Yeah, I guess we'd probably just do a couple of these. The one that makes you skip your attacks. Oh, sure, yeah. Dignitary, so that's another Destroy Evil. I mean, these Great Swords are not good, so I could bring in like a Journey. I mean, Prismatic Strands does not seem good here. Obviously, it worked there, but they're also going to play around that now. They only play 1 Breath Weapon, but also they can have it whenever they want. They're not going to take out Breath Weapon, though. That would be silly, so maybe the Strands is still worth it. But Veterans don't really matter, actually. I'll do the Destroy Evil. I don't think it's great, but... like we talked about. But yeah, if it hits Mystic, Dignitary, and Wall, that could be like 6 to 8 pretty important creatures. Probably have second weapon and board. Yeah, that too. Yeah, that's not an aggressive enough hand, I don't think. We have some interaction, but I think we kind of need to keep like a pretty decent curve. This is just more interaction. I mean, I did cut a couple like 1-drops, a couple of the Veterans, but I didn't cut that many creatures. But this doesn't kill them at all. Alright, this one's decent. We have Informant, we have Battle Screech. I think we put back Strands Plains. Hope for the best. Would have loved a 1-drop, but obviously that's not going to happen. I think we just exile Refractor right away. It's more aggressive to play the Informant, but especially if they have Tron here, I'd like them to not have colored mana. Because if they just play Tron, play a Muldrifter or whatever, like, we're toast. And also maybe they were counting on that for like an Impulse or something else. Or they just have the second one. Thriving Isle. Well, I think I'd rather just keep the Battle Screech. I mean, this is really awkward because I'd like to play a 1-drop here. But then I don't even have the flashback on the Battle Screech for sure. I think I just discard that. I could also discard a Plains, actually. That might have been better. I obviously don't get the counter, but that's not the end of the world, necessarily. They find a map, pull out their tower. Play a 2-drop here. There's a Prism. See, now Dust to Dust would be nice. I mean, I don't necessarily think the counter is, like, discarding the Veteran's bad just because I'm flooded on Plains, because the Veteran's still going to be a creature if I bring it back, and then I still have the counter. And if our board gets wiped with, like, a Breath Weapon or whatever, we're going to just lose anyway, which I guess it probably will the moment that they find their Mystical Teachings here. But if they stumble around and don't have the right draws, we get a Chocomog. We have like a 2-turn clock. That'd be pretty good. Holy Land Streak Batman. Yeah, I was just talking about how I don't get flooded that much when I play 20 lands in this deck instead of 21, and that was clearly a mistake because I've been exclusively flooded in the last like 3 matches. There's the Muldrifter. Tower. And there's Prismatic Strands to prevent the Breath Weapon. Is 1 bird with 3 damage? I think so. Partially because they might just do that. I could Strands this, but they might also be ephemerating it. Either way, I think I'd probably just let it go. They have an Impulse. Thriving Isle. There's the Stonehorn Dignitary. And a Muldrifter. And another Refractor. Destroy Evil gets rid of the Dignitary, but I'm kind of feeling like this one's lost cause. I kill this, they're at 7 cards in hand, 1,000,000 mana, all the colors they need, and I still am like, I'm missing this I'm missing this combat, and then next turn, even if I get like a Choco, it's not going to do it, so I think we just need to get a better hand. I mean, Dust to Dust looked pretty good there, but I do feel like it's, like, by the time they're at that point, we're already kind of lost. They can't flicker it, at least. Yeah, but I just don't think we were getting there. Like, our hand was empty, except for a Prismatic Strands that probably didn't matter too much. They had a Muldrifter, so I couldn't even attack in. So, like, their one Muldrifter was going to hold up off our guys, because I couldn't keep attacking and losing a guy for, like, 4 damage. I don't know. It just didn't feel worth it. This one has all of our spells again. I know we have plenty of creatures, but we also have a lot of spells, but, like, this just doesn't do anything. I just want a nice curve. This is, I mean, not really a great curve, but I think we're going to keep it anyway. I don't really want to get rid of a land, because then if we don't hit a land drop, we can't Choco. Destroy Evil is only going to be important in the mid to late game, and I'm hoping to have a fast start. Like, ideally, we top deck like a Rafine's Informant, and then I just Choco, and we crush. I mean, not the worst. It is mana inefficient, but I'm going to play this to just be as aggressive as possible. They do have the turn 3... the turn 3 Tron, though. Where's the white lead the Stampede when you need it? Yeah, that would be a cool card. Obviously, you'd have to play a much higher density of actual creatures, so the deck would change quite a bit, but I do think that would be pretty strong. 7. So next turn I can hit for 10 damage with this second Chocomog if I want. Or if I draw a land, I could just Battle Screech. Probably better, although more susceptible to a Breath Weapon. Another map. Nothing else. I guess they don't have colored mana. Raven Charm. I mean, we don't really have another play than this. Now they're going to grab, like, a Conduit Pylons? Yeah. I mean, they go to 5, and even a Breath Weapon doesn't kill our Chocos, so they kind of just need to find a Moment's Peace. The Conduit Pylons is only going to provide one colored mana. Militia Bugler isn't good anymore. Yeah, I never liked Militia Bugler, but it's kind of the white lead the Stampede, but obviously it doesn't let you draw 5 cards for 3 mana. Well, they found the Refractor, and they're not conceding, so I assume they have a Fog or a Life Gain or something. Currently we have 14 damage. Well, we just attack. I don't want to cast any spells pre-combat, because if they do have, like, Weather the Storm, I don't want to contribute to it, but if they have the Moment's Peace, I can at least exile their graveyard. Impulse, okay. So that's looking for the Moment's Peace. Alright, we got there. Look at that. Just got to mulligan to that aggressive hand. Even, we didn't have the perfect curve, but we did end up getting a... Like, if we didn't get the Inspector for turn 2, we probably would not have gotten there, because we would have missed out on, like, a lot of damage. Because turn 3, we played this, we would have missed out on 2. The next turn, we missed out on 5. So they'd still be at 10 life if we didn't have hit that 2-drop. Then they would be taking 11. So if they had, like, a Weather the Storm in hand, which isn't going to keep them alive here, it would have saved them. So, yeah, definitely just need that aggressive hand. Woot. Indeed. Well, we're 2-1. I think that's got to be it for me for streaming. Quick, top 5 Lorwyn cards. Okay. I don't remember any of the names of them. So, the cards that I think might be playable. The new Toxin Analysis for that's black. That makes a 2/2 when the creature dies. I think it might be playable in Black Sack. If I had to say yes or no, I think it's not going to end up in the main deck, but I think it could be okay. There's a really cool green guy that costs less if you have 5 colors of for each color among permanents you control, it costs less. I think that's going to be a meme, but it's going to be kind of cool. There's a Sacred Cat that's a 1/2 with no lifelink. It's probably going to be bad, but it's still one of the most playable cards in the set. You play a lot more familiars than I do, Phil, but the draw 3, discard 1 Convoke card looks okay maybe for familiars. It's 5 mana, 2 pips of blue, so probably not as good as Meeting of Minds. but maybe. And yep, that's all I can think of. There's your top 4. I think those are the most playable ones. I guess we're getting especially unlucky with the Elves matchups here because Bokina only plays Elves, but this hand is okay. I mean, we can pitch a Battle Screech, maybe get some of that going. We're on the draw, unfortunately. We do have a Thraben Charm. I also feel like I only play against Bokina when I'm playing White Weenie, which is just unfortunate. I play tons of other decks that can prey on elves, and yeah, tough to do that though. They just play the Timberwatch Elf. I gotta just kill that right away. Luckily, we draw another Thraben Charm. They have a Lead the Stampede, finding 4 guys, playing an Elvish Mystic, play Rafine's Informant, gonna pitch a Battle Screech, and swing for 1 here. They get Elvish Vanguard, Priest of Titania, Findhorn Elves, Birch Lore Rangers. So we can triple Battle Screech, and then we have a bunch of flyers, but they do have a Priest of Titania that can tap for 6. They already have 7, 8 mana regardless. I could shoot it. That doesn't seem super beneficial though. I think we're just going to go for the Battle Screech line. Flashback 1, flashback the second one, and pass. There's the Timberwatch. I mean, if we get a Choco, we can hit for a lot, but unfortunately we don't have the Guardian's Pledge in the deck in this version, so I can't actually just like attack for lethal. They morph a Birchlaw Rangers, which is kind of funny. So next turn this can tap for 8, 9 elves, but I can just Thraben Charm it, so I think we just take the 6 here. Untap the Mystic, or rather the Elvish Vanguard. Idyllic Range. They have no reach creatures, so I think I just attack for 7, play a Skyfisher, Thraben Charm, and Inspector. If we don't kill the Timberwatch Elf, we pretty much just die next turn, but this way they have to draw really well to make it so that we lose. Plus we have 7, 8, 9. I can make it 10 damage with the Idyllic Range, but that's not actually quite lethal, as we can see, so I think it makes more sense to just pick up the Inspector then for an extra card. They attack for 6, and morph another Birchlore, another Thraben Charm, pretty good. Oh, and we just get the Choco off our clue, so that's going to be lethal. Alright, we get the first game, mostly off the back of a couple Thraben Charms there. We get Standard Bearer, Holy Light, and some more removal. Exchange for those Veterans and those Great Swords. This hand is real bad. This one's decent. We have a Standard Bearer plus a Journey. Start with the Sentinel. We'll play an Inspector. They just have a Birchlore and no other 1-drop. We'll play a Standard Bearer. Tap for 2 for an Elvish Vanguard. That's it. I can Journey that, but I don't think that seems necessary. Let's just play an Inspector, swing for 1, crack a clue here. I mean, I might end up journeying this later, but I don't think I need to right now. There's a Sentinel into a Well-Wisher. Unicorn's pretty decent. We've seen what can happen to us with a Well-Wisher on field. Kind of think I should just take it away before it gets problematic. Might not be best use of the journey, but we'll swing for 3. There's a Priest of Titania. Like, that is probably a lot more problematic than the Well-Wisher, but what are you going to do? Salt Road Pack Beast. Nice. No attacks. Another Strands is not very good. I could pump the team and attack, but that doesn't do much because they have 2 blockers and they take like 6. We might as well pass here. I could crack a clue, maybe find a 2-drop, but I think I'd rather hold up the Strands because there are a lot of ways that Strands could be necessary. Lizalana Huntmaster is pretty unfortunate. Into Quarian Ranger and Winding Way. Gets a Priest and another Salt Road Pack Beast. Play that and play the Priest. Attack with just the Vanguard. I think I'll just take 9. I'd rather crack some clues here, I think. All the Strands. I don't mind getting 1, but this is obviously way too many. Play an Inspector, and we'll just pass. Another Winding Way, bunch of Dorks, and they have a Timberwatch Elf. So we get the Vanguard and one of the Pack Beasts, which would trade for 2 of these Inspectors. I mean, I don't love that, but kind of need to kill the Pack Beast at some point, so we'll prevent damage from green sources. Trade 2 here. They play a big Hydra. We get this guy way too late. I mean, I'm trying to figure out how we would win this game. We do have a million turns with these Prismatic Strands. Then we find a Holy Light and wipe most of the board. And then we get some single target removal. It's going to be tough, but it is possible. Thraben Charm is decent. Let's crack a clue here. We get a Grange, and we'll pass. I'm going to keep being mana efficient and just play another Strands here. Doesn't really matter if they know we have them. They shouldn't have any graveyard hate. Winding Way hits just a Sentinel. There's no reason to block either because their guys are way too big right now. I mean, I can play these. They have some decent blockers and just a lot of creatures, so we're not really attacking in. Holy Light, come on. Planes, now we're out of cards, or card draw rather. 5, 6, 8, so that's not even close to being enough for these guys. It's just not really a reason to play these, I don't think. Not really a reason to attack either. If we get a Holy Light, I think we're in a decent spot actually. Because like I can Thraben Charm this Hydra, which we probably do. I could start chumping the Vanguard, but I probably don't need to do that yet. Strands for green. Guess we'll just wait because I probably don't need the mana. Battle Screech is decent. They don't have many flyers actually, or reachers. I mean they have 3 Sentinels, and a Hydra, but it's not the most, especially because we can give our reachers, or we can give our creatures +1/+1, not to mention buffs from the Chocos. There's a Timberwatch, just attack with the Vanguard. I don't have to use the Strands because this doesn't have trample, so I think I just chump here actually. And they're leaving back the Hydra to block, but I'm just gonna Thraben Charm it down. Grange is actually not bad because I can buff a bird, I can play one of these guys, buff all our guys, and then when they go to block with their 1/2s, I can pump with the Unicorn. Now they obviously know we have the Unicorn, so they might just double block some of them, but that's also fine. I could give them Vigilance, but I think it's better on the off chance that they don't realize. Or they just go for 1 block here, pump again, eat their Sentinel, put them to 6. They have 2 Reachers, block. That should be lethal next turn. If they don't have another Reach creature, yeah. And we get there. Look, it was a slog. We didn't have an exact game plan. This is why I don't concede early against Elves. If you're playing White Weenie against Elves, you have to be willing to go to the late game. And we just used 3. We still had 2 more activations of Strands left. We eventually got there, so it is winnable. All right, last round here, and not a terrible hand, but it is a 1-lander. I think I'm going to keep it. This is the difference between this 1-lander and some others that I often ship back saying, well, it's a 1-lander. I have multiple 1-drops, which sometimes you do, but so if I miss a land for a turn, I have another play. Then if I do hit my land, I have a Fiend's Informant to pitch a Battle Screech right away, which means on just 2 mana, or 1 mana for a couple turns and then 2 mana, I can actually get quite a few creatures out pretty quickly. And obviously I'm hoping to still hit the land, and if I don't hit the land next turn, it can be problematic, but we're doing what we can. I'm probably not going to go for a double block here because that seems risky, and I don't want to lose my veteran regardless, so we're just going to attack. They'll swing with a Tomb Raider, play an Epicure, and an Epicure. Give me the planes. Yeah, alright. So we are a little behind where we could be, but we get some life here, we get a nice loot, and then I get to pitch the Battle Screech, gain 2 more life, and make 2 more 1/1s right now. And right now we're just trying to survive against them. Looks like they're Red Rally, so I'll happily trade off these birds for the Epicures, because as soon as we stabilize, we're going to win. We don't actually need to. Well, I was really hoping they wouldn't be playing End the Festivities in their main deck, so that is unfortunate, especially because it killed the veteran. But what are you going to do? Choco, that's more of an aggressive card. I think I'm going to just, for mana efficiency, Skyfisher, replay the Inspector. Might as well attack it for 1. If they want to bolt the Inspector in response, I can pick up a land or a clue or whatever. It's not a big deal. It'd be better than them bolting one of our other guys, so. Alright. They do bolt the Skyfisher and go for a Bushwhacker. So I can trade, take 4. I think we should. 9 is pretty low. Play a Mountain. Okay, Plains lets us. I think we go for a Lunarch Veteran, which can gain us some life plus an Informant. 2 blockers here, and Thraben Charm removes 1 creature. That's kind of it. I think I'd rather just have more creatures of my own. Then again, the mana isn't perfect for Skyfisher Choco, although I can actually untap a land with the Skyfisher. I might do that. They blast us for 4. They have a Fire Blast here. No, another Bushwhacker. Okay, I will trade off. Go to 3 and up to 4. Hopefully don't die to a Lightning Bolt or a Gallop Blast. We did not. Let's play some more creatures. I'm actually going to keep the planes. The Choco isn't super helpful here, and with the clues, the extra land might actually be helpful, but obviously we're hoping not to die. There's a Burning Emissary into a Rally. They've been drawing very well. We go to 2 here. Give me Prismatic Strands, I guess. Thank you. That was pretty easy. Yeah, we'll see what they got. Rally. If I prevent damage from white sources, then I actually can't kill the Epicure. I think I block here. I prevent red sources, and then I kill 2 of their guys, and I take 1, because it doesn't actually help to leave their guys around. Inspector. Let's crack a clue. Planes. Perfect. So I can play Inspector, Skyfisher the Inspector, replay it with the planes, and I can attack for 5. And if they get a haste creature or bolt or whatever, I have the strands. If not, I have 2 blockers here. They went straight to combat. I don't know if that was a mistake, but we're not dead yet, so that's good. Veteran's pretty good, but we need some creatures to follow it for some life gain. That's pretty good. However, I had to crack the clue, so I can't actually cast it now this turn. So I'm going to crack another clue. Grange. Let's see. Grange on Skyfisher. Play a veteran. I think we attack with the Informant so that we have a 2-turn clock here. So they go to 5. Then we hopefully survive. Didn't have anything on the end step, because if they had a bolt there, they could have done it for the prismatic strands, and then untapped and maybe drawn something, but discard a Reckless Impulse. Epicure, because I wasn't able to trigger this at all, is lethal, so if they just have a bolt in response, that'll kill me. That is really annoying. Well, we get Martyr of Sands. I guess Holy Light isn't even good here. They do go wide, but they have a lot of 2 toughness, and it's non-white creatures, and a bunch of their creatures are white, evidently. Don't need Journeys. Great Swords are, I guess, fine. Probably better than, like, Thraben Charms. Alright, if we just had slightly different draw, I think we would have been okay there. Alright, this hand looks pretty good. Veteran, Martyr of Sands. Let's see, I could play a Veteran and then I gain more life from the Martyr. I'm almost tempted to just hold it and play the Martyr next turn and gain, like, 15. It gains 2 more life, but it's a little more mana inefficient. I think it might be worth it. I don't know. Don't necessarily love showing them my entire hand, but also if I just gain 15 life, that's pretty strong. Them having a Tomb Raider to start every turn is pretty annoying, and I actually did not end up drawing up a spell, so the Martyr now looks a little worse. But I can chump, still gain 12, not bad. There's a Burning Tree Emissary into an Epicure and a Relic. Sure. Like, I could wait, and if I draw another spell, I could gain a little more. But I gain 3 more, potentially, whereas right here I'm already blocking 2 of it, so there's like only a slight chance I'd gain 1 extra life. I mean, I guess I could still block it next turn, but I think this is probably just worth it. Gain 12, block 2, so this card essentially gained us 14 life for 2 mana. Pretty good. Weather the Storm I didn't even have to work quite as hard for. Although, again, we showed them our whole hand. Another Martyr Sands is pretty interesting, though. I was going to just Veteran. Let's see. Veteran Martyr gains us a life, plus it gives us a chump blocker, which gains us 2 more life, so just as much as if we reveal the Veteran. Except if they have like a Bushwhacker, it could actually be more. Damn, and then the Festivities, it will just be 9, but that's not the worst either. Chain Lightning, the Veteran. Okay. And they're going to activate Relic. I could sack the Martyr in response. I'm going to gain 2 life less, but I can maybe get this back. Obviously, they could pop the Relic. I think it's fine. I mean, to be honest, we're gaining a lot of life this way, but we're not doing much else, so it kind of feels like we're going to peter out. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this, though, because I could, if I get a Plains, I could play Battle Screech and flash it back with the Martyr. I don't know. I mean, we're gaining a lot of time up at 36 life, but obviously we gotta actually do something with that time. Then again, they're only at 1 card in hand. That's pretty good. There is a Plains. So Battle Screech. We have a Remosian Rally, but I probably want to keep these alive first. Oh, right. They're also gonna just crack the Relic, I'm very sure. Rally at the Hornburg. The earlier I kill these, the less damage I'm taking. I could rally to kill 2 of these. We take 6. It's kind of close, but I think we just take it here. They're going to pop this in response to any creature I play, or just in the upkeep, sure. That's not bad, actually. Another Battle Screech. So next turn, we have 6 birds. Next turn I can pump and pump, so that's 18 damage. So I'm 1 damage short of killing him next turn. Alright, I don't think I'm going to rally to block. I think we're going to rally to save our guys from an End the Festivities and hope for the best. Hope that we don't get double-ended, because then we'll lose, for sure. But they pitch a mountain, and they have a Bushwhacker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 16 damage. We're going to go to 11, 18. If I get an Idyllic Grange off the top, we'll win. I could rally, and I'm going to lose my guys. I could rally and block these, and then we take 10. We still have 8 damage. That might be worth it, actually. We take 10, go to 17. They just have a bunch of 1/1s. That's a tough call, but I actually think blocking here might be best. 6 damage is a lot. Now I kind of wish I'd left back another bird. Yeah, then again, 4 birds is a good amount to have on them. I don't know. We're just trading here. Thraben Charm. Well, we're obviously playing this. Attack for 8. I mean, they need like another Bushwhacker for 12 damage plus something else. Bolting that's pretty good. I mean, I guess just that plus like a Bushwhacker puts us really low. With that plus an End the Festivities. Burning Tree Emissary. Nothing to use that on. Okay, but they didn't want to use their blood token, so I'll take 5 strands. Okay. Well, I think I was thinking about holding these back. I guess I could have, and I could do red and then block all their guys, but I kind of just want to destroy them. I don't know. I think we gotta play strands here for red. It's just too much damage to take. Bolt a bird in response. Sure. Bolt another. Okay. Not great. Unless we get like another Choco here. Informant actually is not bad. It's a blocker and it draws us a new card potentially. Great Sword. We hit for 2. They're at 5. I think I'd rather just have the Thraben Charm to shoot one of these down probably. Great Sword would be cool. Technically does like lower our clock a little bit, but we could just like be in trouble to a Bushwhacker or something. There's another rally. If they attack with everything, I could just kill him. If they only leave one blocker back, I can just Thraben Charm that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They have no cards, so I'm just gonna Thraben Charm this Epicure, and then I can attack them for 5. Alright. I don't think it's unreasonable for them to have left back just one guy, but obviously they did lose to 1 removal spell. But I also didn't have that many removal spells in my deck because I'd kind of gotten rid of them. They do still have Epicures and Bushwhackers. I don't know, Holy Light just does not seem very good. But Great Swords and Thraben Charms are not great either. Maybe we'll try them. I mean, a Great Sword early is fine. No, I don't think so. We'll try the Holy Light, see how they are. Because we're bringing them in, we should prioritize killing the white creatures at all times. We already have the Prismatic Strand, so we already have a reason to do that. Hand looks okay. Nice. So that lets us Inspector. Turn 2, I could Martyr again for 12 or 15 life. It did work last time. Relic. That's a bit unfortunate because I was going to Informant pitch a Strands pretty early, but clearly I'm not doing that anymore. Yeah, I mean, I don't really see a better play than just Martyr. Like, the later I wait on Martyr, the less life I'm gaining out of it, so I might as well just play it now for 15. And again, 15 plus 2 here. This card's kind of crazy. They'll Relic it away, and Rally after the fact. Battle Screech. I gotta cycle this Eagles for Plains. So I'll probably next turn Rafine's Informant for a Battle Screech to flashback, but I don't want to do it now because then they could Relic it away. I do want a creature though, so I'll go for a Skyfisher. I think I'm just picking up a Plains. I'd rather not pick up the Inspector. I could pick up the Clue here, but unless I draw land, it doesn't really matter. Plus, I think I'm doing Informant, Battle Screech anyway, so I might not need the extra land. The Clue could be helpful. Tomb Raider, I assume they'll bolt the Skyfisher. Yes, but they only have 2 artifacts. They miscounted on the Blast, which means I just don't block this turn with it. We have the life to spare, so I will gladly do that. Bit of a misplay for sure. We do get the Plains, but again, it's not too big of a deal because we're just going Inspector, Informant, ditch the Battle Screech, bring it back, leaving up our Skyfisher. They couldn't kill it last turn, so I assume it'll be a good blocker again. And they have 2 cards. We have a pretty decent board and 28 life. If they like double End the Festivities here, we'll lose a lot of our creatures, but if even just one just only kills the birds, so not too worried about that. Clockwork, they'll swing. I think we'll just take it. We get Prismatic next turn, makes their attacks a lot harder, only puts us to 20. Oh, we also just get that. Currently we have 7 damage. I could make that 12, put them to 8. We're at 20. I mean, it's safer to just play the Strands here, but because we're holding up Strands mana, they very well might not attack. And then things get a little awkward. I think we just take the 8 damage here. By 8 damage, I mean 12 damage, putting them to 8. I don't think we're going to die from 20 with 2 blockers. And then we do still have the Strands next turn. There's a Rally. They also have enough blockers for all our ground creatures, but not for our flyers, so we're still going to get in for 4, then 4 again if they can't kill him. Pass to me. Another Strands. We'll just swing for 4, hold up Prismatic, pass the turn. They crack a blood token, play another land. They have a Bushwhacker. I believe they know they're toast. Alright, we get a nice 4-1 with the deck. Pretty happy with how the deck played out. We got a nice 4-1. I will say, this is like my probably 4th league in the last couple months trying out Greatsword, and every single time I don't really get to play it, and that's partially because I don't draw it, but it's partially because most every matchup I go up against, I'm like, oh, this just isn't really great here, and I think that's the problem, is it's really not great against most matches, so I think I would cut those as fun as they are. And the Chocos were really good, but I do think that we were missing the Guardian's Pledge, and there were times where we had to play them as a creature that just kind of died right away. Not right away, but like against elves and things like that, we had to play it and it just wasn't great. So I kind of think 4 is too many. Maybe I go back to the 2 that I was playing in previous versions. maybe 3, but I think 4 is a lot here. So I'll probably switch up the list, maybe go revert a little bit back to what I was playing before. But definitely on the whole, I like playing this White Weenie deck. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.